Hello, happy Friday, everyone. How's your week been? So let me ask you something. Do you deserve happiness? Do you deserve to choose happiness? I mean, the answer in categorically is yes, you do. I think sometimes we forget that. And I think sometimes we tell ourselves a different story. Hey, Brian. Hey, Antoinette. So sometimes we tell hey, Ryan. So sometimes we tell ourselves, a really different story than the truth that we know. And on Monday, I said to you that, well, first of all, we were so proud to launch our Growing Happiness masterclass on ConfidenceThroughCabaret.com. So check that out, because Emily Oliver is a badass in terms of happiness coaching. But I think, I think when we started talking about this on Monday, about finding joy in the moment, what I found of sitting with that for these almost 5 days now is that's a lot easier to say than it is to really do. It's a little bit like mindfulness, and Emily talks about mindfulness in the masterclass and also on our podcast, which you can check out on Confidence Through Cabaret landing page. It's Confidence with Coffee is the segment for this week. And Emily talks about, mindfulness, about setting yourself a timer for every 10 minutes to just check in. Are you really mindful in the moment? And I struggle with that because I think sometimes it takes me out of the moment to have the alarm set. So I'm still working on that. But I've been working this week with joy, and I've been working with this week about, kind of finding the joy in the moment and remembering that we do deserve to feel joy. And I think what I have found is that there are times when I think I'm not feeling joy. Is that okay? Is that, oh, my neighbors are out, so I'm going to walk inside. Is it okay to not feel joy in the moment? Is it okay to feel like I'm not happy in the moment and sit with that? Is it okay to feel like I'm annoyed or upset or unhappy? And the answer I've decided, for me anyway, is yeah, it's okay. It's okay to feel sad or angry or upset. I've had a week of amazing connection this week. And so that negativity bias has been a real challenge for me, because I feed off of energy from others. And I have done a lot of online stuff, especially on Tuesday. I was online for over 5 hours. And I was buzzing by the end of the day, and the joys in the moment were super easy. But my negativity bias would go to noticing things that weren't so good, noticing the things that I didn't like so much, noticing the connections that weren't so easy. And so finding the joy in the moment for me hasn't been just about feeling good and knowing I'm deserving. It's also been about, okay, how do I shut off that negativity voice? How do I stop myself from going into the yeah, but? How do I stop myself from going into the shoulda, woulda, coulda stuff? And so what's interesting about joy in the moment is that the simplicity of just being able to overcome that has made me feel better. Just being able to go, yeah, but it was great, and I did enjoy it, and I did, remembering what's good in that moment, and remembering that we are deserving of that. Hey, Eleanor, I'm so happy you're here. So that negativity bias for me has been what's come up in the finding the joy in the moment. And I said that on Monday. I said that we discussed that with Emily Oliver, and she'd shared it with us in her Growing Happiness masterclass. But doing it and overcoming that negativity bias, that's been a challenge. And sometimes it's okay to sit with that. Sometimes it's okay to sit with the not feeling so great. Sometimes it's okay to sit with the this isn't going how I want it to. But what you tell yourself in that moment is so important. You know, if I tell myself that, oh, this not going well because I don't know what I'm doing, or because I always do this, or, do you know, that's a really different thing. So Eleanor's saying she's experiencing this exact same thing with the negativity, but we all have a negativity bias. But it's, so I thought that it would be about, in difficult times, what am I joyous for? Where do I find the joy in sadness? Where, you know, I'm still struggling a little bit with grieving from my mother, and, you know, and that hits me at times. And, you know, how can I find the joy in that moment through maybe happy memories? That's how I thought this was going to go. And that's what I was working on. And what's come up for me is that negativity bias is harder than I expected to interrupt. So what have you experienced? I know I love, Eleanor, that you're saying the negativity bias when we're in abundance as well. I think thank you, Ryan. I didn't expect to find this. I sort of thought, I've got this, right? Like I intellectually understand the negativity bias fully. I thought I understand joy. I feel deserving. I'm in abundance. I'm doing the things I love doing this week. And then other stuff comes up. And so we're always working on this, aren't we? We're always working on growing happiness. But happiness is a choice. And by that, I don't mean that you have to always choose happiness in the moment. I mean, happiness, our practice, is a choice. Whether or not we choose to work through our negativity bias, whether or not we choose to be in the moment, whether or not we choose to explore our thoughts on whether or not we are deserving, those are choices. And when you get to the core of what your habits are, when you get to that part when you say, oh, this is something that keeps coming up for me, this is a pattern of behavior, I need to explore that. I need to sit within that. I need to figure out what's triggering that, and perhaps even what root cause is of that. And then we work through that. So that's what I'm doing this weekend. I'm working through, where's my negativity bias coming in? I'm in abundance. I'm things are going great. Why is there that little voice going, but, you know, what is that about? So that's obviously a habit that I have. Eleanor, you're talking about the same thing. When things are going great, I feel the voice telling me not to enjoy it too much because it would be going away. Do you know, see, that's a moment thing, right? I can, one of my children used to do this all the time. We would be at somewhere wonderful, having a great time. And he'd say, what are we doing tomorrow? I would imagine that I have some of that too, because I know that my father also does that. He'll say, we'll be enjoying dinner, and he'll say, what do you want for dinner tomorrow night? We're enjoying this moment. And we're letting it go when we don't. But, you know, with my son, this was like really young age, you know, before school age. Sort of saying, what are we doing tomorrow? So the moment will go away, but it's going to go away anyway, right? That moment is going to move on into another moment, and we have a choice. So did we fully experience that moment before we moved forward or not? Did we fully engage in that moment or not? Do you know, because if we didn't, then we missed it. So what I learned was that finding the joy in the moment, which I thought was going to be all about finding something good or something to be thankful for, was actually just about finding the joy in the moment as the moment itself. Right? So the moment is the joy. The fact that we're here to experience it, to learn from it, to grow from it, the fact that we know that we deserve, if it's not going well, we deserve more, we deserve better, we deserve to feel good in that moment, to feel good in our body, or to feel good in our space. I guess for me, it's going to have to come down to gratitude. And I know everybody's talking about gratitude, but really, you know, feeling good in my space means that I need to appreciate the space that I'm in. Not just, you know, making a list of things I'm grateful for and going through the motions. And I've really been digging into that this week of, you know, I can do meditation, I can do journaling, I can do gratitude practice. I can do all those things. Tick, tick, tick. No problem. But am I actually in that? Am I actually doing that? You know, so I love, Eleanor, I love that you're on your drive to work. but I mean, like, how often do we drive on autopilot, right? So how often is actually quite alarming. How often do we drive with our unconscious competence and we don't need to think about it? And being in that moment means that we get to experience it. What's going on around us. I mean, that's how we're supposed to drive anyway, but get what you can out of the moment. Yes, Eleanor, absolutely, yes. I think that, we all have our own habits. Explore yours. Don't judge it. Don't beat yourself up over it. Don't tell yourself that it's all wrong. It's right. Whatever you're doing is right in that moment. But it can perhaps lead to more growth if you explore the habits that you're following, if you explore what you're doing. So I'm now really distracted because I'm thinking, Eleanor, are you okay driving? Like, because now you're listening to me and we're connecting and you're thinking, yeah, me too. And I have this and that. And then it's like, are you getting as much as you can out of the other drivers on the road? And actually, I mean, driving is my favorite example of when of the reminder of nobody made you feel any way. Nobody made you feel angry. Oh, good. Okay. Oh, you're done driving. Good. Thanks, Eleanor. That's actually really reassuring. Nobody made you mad when they cut you off. Nobody made you feel small. Nobody made you anything. Because we are different than the rest of the animal kingdom in that we actually have a layer in our brain that allows us a choice between stimulus and response. So stimulus being something like somebody cut you off, and then your response to that. We choose our behavior. So if you chose to engage in being angry, or you chose to engage in feeling small, or you chose to engage in feeling offended, or whatever it is, nobody made you choose that. That's your choice. And so for me, it's like, finding the joy in the moment is I guess what I need to dig into is finding the realness in the moment and enjoying that, finding joy in that realness. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, Eleanor. I think it's, for me, it's reassuring that in abundance, I'm looking at my negativity bias. What's that about? And that's what I'm doing this weekend. I'm just going to try and find the joy without the negativity bias. I love having you guys here. You are the joy in my day. I love the engagement. I have so enjoyed. I mean, I feed off of others' energy. That is so key for me. And I think that, if you are in a community, it's because you have the opportunity and you chose the opportunity to have support and to connect with others. So do that. Connect with others. We started Confidence Through Cabaret because Ryan and I wanted people to feel uplifted and supported in their confidence journey. So then use that. If you're not able to find the joy in the moment, if you're just finding the negativity bias and you can't flip it and you can't see what's good about that or what you're learning and growing from in that, then say so. It's fine. You don't have to just talk about, oh, I found this joy and oh, I like this. And, get real if you want to. And then we can talk about that and we can share that. I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you so much. We have exciting news coming up about our next full-on challenge, which will be for spring, which is this month. Spring is starting this month. I mean, there's joy in the moment right there, right? It's and if your negativity bias went, yeah, already, where's the world? Where's the year going? Then flip that and go, yeah, but it's spring. That's amazing. Or if it's not spring, maybe it's autumn. I mean, I know certainly for some of you in Australia, it's the opposite, and autumn is great too. I mean, I love autumn actually. As a Canadian, I love autumn. Because that's lots of beautiful leaves and heading in towards snow. So whatever it is that you're heading into, find the joy in the moment. Enjoy yourself this weekend. Indulge yourself this weekend in whatever way makes you feel good. Right? Don't just indulge yourself. Indulge yourself in a way that makes you feel good and joyful and open and learning and growing. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. I will speak to you next week. Bye.